The gray morning sky hung low over Willow Creek High, pressing down like a quiet weight. Daniel Matthews slung his backpack over one shoulder and walked the familiar path toward the front doors. His footsteps echoed softly against the cracked pavement, swallowed by the drone of distant traffic and the occasional rustle of wind through bare branches. School wasn't just a place to learn for Daniel. It was a daily battlefield. The halls buzzed with a mixture of laughter and whispers, but to him the sounds always seemed tinged with something sharp, something cold. He could feel the eyes watching him as he passed, the quick glances, the smirks half hidden behind hands. A chill ran down his spine, but he told himself to keep walking, to hold his head just a little higher, even if it felt like carrying a boulder. "Hey, Matthews!" The voice cut through the morning hum like a sudden gust of ice. Aaron Hayes stood near the lockers, surrounded by his usual circle. Boys who smiled cruel smiles and leaned just enough to block the hallway. Aaron's face was a mask of confidence, his gaze sharp and calculating. Daniel froze for a moment, heart hammering in his chest. He knew what was coming. Aaron stepped forward, blocking Daniel's path. "Where are you off to, little shadow? Planning to hide in the library again?" Daniel swallowed the lump in his throat. "Just going to class," he said quietly. Aaron laughed, a harsh, mocking sound that echoed down the hall. "Class? That's rich. Like you ever actually belong anywhere." Around them, some students chuckled or looked away. Daniel's hands clenched at his sides. "Come on, lighten up," Aaron said, stepping closer. "You ever gonna stand up for yourself, or just keep crawling around in the dirt?" Daniel didn't answer. Instead, he squeezed past, trying to make himself as small as possible. But not before Aaron's friend Ryan shoved him lightly in the back. "Watch your step, Shadow," Ryan sneered. Daniel's cheeks burned as he hurried away, the laughter chasing him down the hall like a swarm. In class, Daniel tried to focus on the blackboard, on the teacher's voice, on anything but the ache in his chest. But the hurt lingered, a quiet echo beneath every word. At lunch, he found his usual corner by the cafeteria's windows, his safe spot, where he could unwrap his sandwich in silence and watch the clouds drift by. He pulled out his notebook, the pages filled with sketches of vast mountains, starry skies, and figures standing tall on cliffs. Drawing was his refuge. Each pencil stroke was a small rebellion against the heaviness that tried to sink him. But even here, the shadows crept in. "Nice sketches, Matthews," a voice said. Daniel looked up to see Cole leaning nearby, a sneer playing at his lips. "What? You gonna cry if I mess with your little drawings?" Daniel shut his notebook slowly. "Please don't," he said softly, his voice barely above a whisper. Cole laughed, turning away with a shrug. "Whatever." Daniel breathed out slowly, trying to push the fear away. That night, Daniel lay awake in his room, the moonlight casting silver stripes across the walls. His mind replayed the day's events like a looped film. Aaron's taunts, Ryan's shove, the mocking laughter. The weight of it settled heavy on his chest, but beneath the pain a faint spark flickered. A small, stubborn voice whispered that maybe, just maybe, he was more than the stories others told him. His eyes grew heavy, and sleep finally claimed him. The dream came quietly at first, a soft pull, like a hand guiding him through mist. Daniel found himself standing in a vast open field, under a sky painted with twilight colors. The air was warm and smelled faintly of pine and rain. Far ahead, a shimmering path stretched toward a glowing horizon, pulsing gently with golden light. A voice, calm, steady, and warm, called his name. "Daniel!" He felt no fear, only a quiet certainty that he was meant to walk forward. Each step along the path sent ripples of light through the ground. The stars above shifted, forming shapes that seemed alive. A soaring eagle, a lion, a mighty oak whose roots dug deep into the earth. Scenes flickered alongside the path, memories from his life, glowing softly like lanterns, sitting alone in the cafeteria, the bully's sneers, the silent tears behind closed doors. He wanted to turn back, but knew he must keep moving. At the path's end, Daniel entered a clearing bathed in golden light. There, standing tall and proud, was a figure, himself, but transformed. This Daniel stood with confidence radiating from every pore. Eyes bright and steady, shoulders relaxed yet strong. He wore simple white garments that seemed to shimmer softly in the light. "You made it," the figure said, smiling gently. "I've been waiting for you." Daniel blinked, swallowing the lump in his throat. "Who are you?" "I am you," the figure replied. "The part of you that's always been here, waiting beneath the noise." "The noise?" Daniel asked, voice barely steady. "The voices that told you you were less. The stares that tried to shrink you. They never touched me because I am the truth inside you." Daniel's chest tightened. "Why don't I feel like you?" "Because you've been listening to the wrong story. But you can change that. You can choose your story." A golden breeze swept through the clearing, carrying whispers like a song. "I am worthy. I am strong. I am enough." The words wrapped around Daniel like a warm embrace, seeping into his skin, his heart. "Walk with me," the figure said, leading Daniel through the clearing. Trees rose around them, silver trunks shimmering with light. Between the branches hung glowing threads, each bearing a word, an affirmation. "I am powerful. I attract kindness and respect. My worth is not defined by others. I am the author of my own story." Daniel reached out, touching one thread. Warmth surged through him, dissolving the cold fear he'd carried for so long. "The law of attraction is not magic," the figure explained. "It's focus. What you believe, you create. You've been watering weeds, thoughts that shrink you. Now water the roots that lift you." Daniel imagined walking through school with steady eyes, sitting with calm confidence, laughing with friends. The lake beside them shimmered, reflecting the new images. "Feel these truths as real now," the figure urged, "and your world will begin to shift." The figure picked up a smooth, moonlit stone from the ground. "Carry this with you," he said, placing it in Daniel's hand. "Let it remind you of your power and your choice." Daniel closed his fingers around it, feeling its warmth pulse steady in his palm. "Speak your truths," the figure said softly. "I am enough. I am strong. I walk unshaken." As Daniel spoke the words aloud, the clearing brightened, light spilling like sunrise. "You will remember this feeling," the figure said, "and when you need me, I am always within." The dream dissolved into light, and Daniel felt himself falling gently, peacefully. Daniel woke with the morning sun warming his face. His hand brushed his pocket, and there it was, the smooth moonlight stone, warm to the touch. A calm strength filled him, a fire kindled deep inside. At school, when Aaron's voice tried to slice through the air, Daniel met it with quiet confidence. "Good morning," he said, voice steady. Aaron's smirk faltered. Day by day, Daniel walked taller. His mind replayed the affirmations, grounding him. "I am enough. I attract kindness and respect. I am the author of my story." The laughter and taunts lost their power. Daniel's belief in himself created a shield no bully could penetrate. Weeks passed. Daniel's confidence grew like a rising sun. He spoke more in class, shared his art, made new friends. People noticed, not because he changed overnight, but because he believed in his own light. One day, Leah from history asked, "How did you do it? How did you become so sure?" Daniel smiled, the stone warm in his pocket. "I stopped watering the weeds," he said softly, and started watering the roots. At night, Daniel held the stone and whispered his truths. "I am worthy. I walk tall and unshaken. I am the author of my story. I attract kindness and respect. I believe in myself completely." These words settled into his soul, building a fortress of peace. He knew the journey wasn't over. There would be hard days, but the light inside him now was real and unbreakable. As you listen and drift towards sleep, let Daniel's story remind you of the power inside you. Repeat these truths quietly, deeply as you breathe. I am enough. I am worthy of love and respect. I walk tall and unshaken. I choose thoughts that grow me. The world rises to meet my energy. My worth is not defined by others. I am the author of my story. Every day I become more of who I truly am. I attract kindness and peace. My inner strength cannot be shaken. I believe in myself completely. Let these words wrap around you like a warm blanket. Feel the calm, the power, the pride growing in your chest. You are enough. You always have been. and your light will guide you today and every day. Good night. Rest well. Your true self is waiting to awaken.